Okay, very hard-fought game today. Very much like what we anticipated. You know, watching film on these guys all week long. We talked about it with our players, with you guys. It's a really good team that we're going to play. And anytime you have a great player, a quarterback like they do, it's going to be a challenge for you because it's hard to take a quarterback out of a game. He touches the ball every snap. And their defense, over not just this year, over years, has played really tough and very physical. And they've always played great special teams. So we're 3-1. That's all we could do today is to get to 3-1, and we did that. Proud of our guys on a week where kids could overlook the opponent because of the name of the school, and they really bought into practicing extremely hard. Had a physical week. We were extremely banged up going into the game, very low numbers, and so guys were out there playing a ton of snaps on special teams also. So obviously we would have liked to finish better offensively in the second half. I do feel like there was some rhythm early, and then for whatever reason, the second half we weren't able to establish that. And we got our defense and special teams kept getting us great field position, and unfortunately we weren't able to kind of blow the game out at that point. So I think what it came down to is we were able to run the ball decent in the first half and throw it, and they made a decision to play a bunch of 8-man front, which left them man-to-man outside, and that kind of turned it into more of a passing game outside. And unfortunately, we weren't able to connect on those. We did get a pass interference there, but a number of big explosive plays in the passing game on the perimeter versus their corners we weren't able to hit, which would have dramatically changed the outcome of the game.
Were you surprised that they wound up playing a lot of single high, one safety over the top?
No, because I think that goes back to what we've done through 3 games coming into this game. With the ability to run the ball. You know, I think that team right there, had we been the team we were a year ago, the inability to run the ball effectively, that would have been a big drop 8 cover 2 day because that's a big part of their normal package. And they had shown that, and they didn't really do near as much as that because of the running game. And also the running game moving early, you know, kept them in those 8-man fronts. And when you get that, you don't a lot of times get as an efficient game from a completion percentage, but you got to hit some of those big plays, and you saw a number of big plays that either we just missed the throw or we dropped. That really changed it. Just 3 of those completely changed the numbers for the day.
After they faked the field goal, you decided to throw the ball 3 straight times. Was it too early to run the ball?
Well, we just really thought that once again it was out of the fake punt, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. It became an 8-man front day, and so it was tough sledding in there. And they're a physical front when they had the safety in there, 8 guys, and put number 9 on the edge like they do, who's a great NFL player. It becomes a tough game inside, and so you gotta be able to hit those outside, because you don't want to leave the game saying, okay, these guys came in here, played us man to man, and we just sat and ran the ball all day and didn't take any shots out there with our guys.
Let's talk about their defense.
Yeah, another great showing. 4 games in a row versus an offense coming in here that was averaging 50 points a game, 600 yards a game, and I thought our defense was great today. We had two plays we screwed up. You know, we got beat on a go route on 3rd and 16, I think, and we let a power break out to our left. Otherwise, it's just a lights out game, and it was really cool to see the way they finished. I mean, so many times Utah State had an opportunity to go score, and our defense just kept going back out there all the way to their last play, the 4th down stop, versus a great quarterback, one that has given people a lot of problems and is going to give people a lot of problems throughout the year.
How concerned are you about the inability of the offense to score touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to score every time we have it, so we weren't able to do that. We had a great field position and didn't finish off drives for whatever reason, you know, different reasons throughout the game. So we'll go back to work, get better, and try to get the 4-1.
Do you feel good about where you are heading to Arizona State?
Well, I wish we were healthier. You know, this is a very beat-up team. These guys are playing a ton of snaps. There's not a lot of rotations going on there. You know, the skilled players on offense, the numbers are just crushed going into the game. You know, I can't imagine anybody in the world plays with numbers like this. So my point of it is these players are playing their tails off, and they're doing everything they can.
How would you evaluate the special teams play today? It seems like Kadari's been a little off in the punt return game. Hasn't really been able to get so much going so far.
Yeah, up and down. There's some water in that glass. You know, we did stop them on the fake, which was a critical part of the game. Our coverage units pinned them deep too, so we did do some good things. but obviously there's some things to improve on there. And the field goal obviously was big in the game too.
How would you evaluate your quarterback?
I thought in the first half he was doing really well, and then we missed on a couple of things. He was getting hit in there. You know, they have a really good rush, and they were blitzing him a lot, and they made some plays. You know, we hit a big play to Nelson, I believe, on the deep cross down there, and so we come right back, trying to stay explosive, not getting too conservative on the next play, and that's where the sack caused fumble happened. So. You know, it's easy to say just stay explosive and throw the ball downfield, and that's what happens sometimes. You get the negative plays like that, which totally changed the game. You know, that game was getting ready to potentially go 21-7 before half. So did some good things in the first half, and then really got hit a lot in the second half. Did take care of the ball well in the second half. We're just, you know, we're inches away from a couple big plays outside in the man-to-man press game.
Is your offensive line still a work in progress?
Sure. You know, they're still young at the spots that they're at, and they're doing some good things in there. You know, this was a big test for them. You know, I think that's the best team that we've played so far this year. I think that's a really good team right there with a great quarterback and a great rusher. You know, into the boundary, number 9.
Do you think you fixed the passing game? Because last week you said you felt pretty good afterwards. Based on today's game, do you still feel like it's been
I mean, you know, that's football. You know, it's going to go up and down, and you can't predict every week just because you assume nothing. You can't, just because you did something well the week before does not mean it's going to go well again, and doesn't mean if you did it poorly, it's not going to be great the next week. So where we had a great week the week before, and this week we were a little bit off, especially in the second half. So we'll go back to work and you know, do better next time. But at the same time, those guys are in there trying, and you know, Marquise, as I would think you can see, is not 100% in there, even close to it. And you know, we're just barely missing those plays, and so it becomes that type of day when you don't win it, when we don't win outside and don't hit them, don't hit the balls outside. It becomes a mushy day like that.
You guys really kept Keaton in check as a running threat, really. What was the strategy there?
You know, really to condense the rushing lanes on them. If you get real wide and rush on them, you may have everybody covered. It's not going to matter because he's going to take off and run, and the first guy usually doesn't tackle him. So I thought Clancy had a great plan going in of condensing the rush lanes against him, really holding the point inside so that you can see him scramble. And then our guys just, they played their tail off now. You know, that was a physical defense right there, flying around, knocking each other out of the game at one point, Hayes and George. So it's great to see. You know, a lot of the stuff we set out in January to do for this program is taking place.
You said that at the end of the season, no one cares about the scores, just the results. Is that how you kind of look at this game?
No doubt. You know, nobody remembers that. You know, it's the topic right now for the next 48 hours, and that's fine. But as you look at teams over the years, everybody has games like that early on for the most part. You know, so you got to win those games, and then everybody just says, "Oh, well, they found a way to win the game." So we did that today.
How would you compare this defense you have this year with some of the defenses that you had in the early, like 2003-04 seasons?
Well, I think we're going to be tested in some different ways coming up with a lot of really high-powered offenses throughout the rest of the season. Some guys that can really wing it. So today we passed that test. We did a great job. We're going to have to keep doing it again and again. I do think now in our conference, the offenses are better than they used to be against those defenses. And we used to play a lot different style of offenses in this conference with those great defenses, and now you get tested a lot of different ways, and it's a lot harder to have any numbers like we used to nowadays, and fortunately 4 games we're doing it.
Let's do one more.
You just said it, and the players have said it. Great game plan on defense. How was the offensive game plan when you look back at it now? So, was that what we needed, what we wanted, got the job done?
I thought the first half was going fine until the sack caused fumble. We're playing efficient, we're taking care of the ball, we're completing some balls. We just miss, you know, we have 2 big drops that are going to be really big plays that we miss on, and that make it a really efficient first half, and then the sack caused fumble happens, and that kind of pulls you back a little bit when you see that happen. And it became an 8-man front day, and with press man inside technique, so that goes to fades outside, and for a long time here we've made those plays, and we weren't able to do them today.
Thank you.
Thank you.